各位家長、同學午安，歡迎大家嚟到參加由教育及青年發展局主辦嘅各地升學資訊及公開試講解會德國專場。我係教青局嘅同事，我叫 Karen。咁為咗咧，讓我哋澳門嘅學生了解多啲澳門以外地區嘅升學資訊，咁我哋已經係第13年舉辦呢個活動㗎啦。咁我哋今年咧都準備咗有12個唔同主題嘅場次，希望咧都可以喺大家嘅升學路上提供多一啲嘅資訊嘅。咁我哋今日嘅講解會將會分成2個部分啦。首先咧就會一個德國升學嘅介紹先，而後面就係一個答問環節，歡迎大家有問題都可以喺呢部分提出嘅。咁我今日咧喺呢度都同大家介紹下我哋嘅主講嘉賓啦，包括有德國駐香港總領事館文化及新聞事務副領事 Stephanie Walter 小姐，德國駐香港總領事館文化及新聞事務代表 Iris Zhang 小姐，德意志學術交流中心 DAAD 嘅代表 Catherine Bo 小姐。Thank you for joining us。好，咁我哋本局為表謝意啦，都準備咗少少紀念品咧，致送翻俾代表嘅。咁我哋咧先請 Stephanie Walter 小姐到台上。I would like to invite Mr. Stephanie to on the stage and to receive the gift. Yes, thanks。咁我哋而家亦都請教育及青年發展局學生廳陳毓慧廳長咧，為我哋致送紀念品嘅，有請陳廳長。Thank you so much. This way。好，咁我哋咧事不宜遲，馬上交俾我哋代表咧，開始咧我哋德國升學嘅介紹嘅。我哋有請 Stephanie 開始係咪？好 ，Please welcome Miss Stephanie to introduce to us about studying in Germany. Welcome.
So, thank you very much for this nice introduction, and I'm glad to see so many people here. Just allow me to shortly introduce myself also. My name is Stephanie Walter. I'm working for the Culture and Press section of the German consulate to Hong Kong and Macau, of course. For me personally, it's the first time here in Macau, and we came already this morning, so we had a little bit of time also to have a look at the city, and it's really nice, and I hope that it will not be the last time I'm here in Macau. I did not come on my own. I brought Katrin and Iris. Maybe you just shortly want to say also something about yourself.
Okay, I just want to say that, of course, I'm very happy. I'm not the first time in Macau. I have been there a few times, and I very much enjoy this beautiful place. And I'm living in Hong Kong now for 4 years, working at the HKBU in Hong Kong. Before that, I was in China, and I'm working for the DRD. And yes, I'll pass to Iris.
Hello， 大家好，我係 Iris。咁我就之前喺香港讀書啦，咁讀 Bachelor， 咁之後我就去到德國讀德文，之後再讀喺嗰邊讀Master 嘅。咁之後都會分享少少我喺德國嘅時候嘅經歷啦，同埋希望同大家分享少少啲 tips。咁如果大家有啲咩問題都可以隨時喺個 Q&A 度再問我哋嘅。Thank you。
Yes, and our plan for today is just to first start to tell you something about why you should choose Germany as a study destination. And then Katrin will explain you more about the educational system in Germany and how the structure is of a university system in Germany. And Iris has studied in Germany herself, so she will explain later on or tell you more about her experiences in Germany. So let's directly start. Why should I choose Germany? In general, there are few things probably most of you have heard about Germany or know about Germany. There are nice cars. We have nice food there, like sausages. There are fantastic, beautiful castles in Germany, and there are really nice traditions and celebrations. Like here we have a photo from the German Fasnet or Fasching. It's a carnival in the carnival season. But that's not all that there is to Germany. There's much more to discover. We also like to go by bike, for example, not only our cars. We like to eat international food. Here you can see a döner, and it's really delicious. Comes from Turkey, it has a Turkish background, but there's so much international food, international restaurants also in Germany. Then we have big festivals in Germany. Here you see a photo of Rock am Ring, which is one of the most famous festivals in Germany. And we have other interesting events. This is probably the Gamescom, I think. So, why should I choose Germany? Of course, the most important reason is that you just get a first-class education in Germany. There are many universities. There are universities of applied sciences, and you get really good education if you decide to study at a German university. Education is really important also for the German state and the government. This means that the German state funds the public universities, and the result of this high state funding that the universities receive is that actually in most of the public universities in Germany you don't have to pay a high tuition fee if you want to study there. That doesn't mean that education does not cost anything in Germany. It means just, okay, for the German state, it's important to make education available to as many people as possible, and that's why the state subsidizes universities. A big advantage, I personally think, is that many study programs in Germany are practically oriented. And this also leads to the fact that you have a lot of innovations that come from Germany, because you don't just only study for studying, but you also want to do something with your studies, and you want to realize ideas or projects that you put a lot of research in. In general, there are still plenty of career opportunities if you want to stay in Germany or if you want to use the German degree to work in another country. Because Germany's economy is still the largest in the European Union and also the fourth largest in the world. And a special thing about Germany is that you have many of the so-called hidden champions. This means these are small to medium-sized enterprises, but they are like world leaders in their really specific field. This, for example, is in a case of certain screws, for example, things that you don't really think about, but in fact, they're really world-leading companies in Germany that are also smaller and family-run companies that make it also interesting or good to work for them, because they are family-run. They often have like a good working ambience and a good work-life balance that you can have there. And the good thing is also that when you graduated in Germany, you have the opportunity to look for a job also in Germany, if this one is one of your plans, and you have 18 months to do so. In general, Germany is a safe country and you have good and affordable living conditions there. And my colleague Iris will later tell you more about the diverse student life. But in general, as a foreign student coming to Germany, you will not be left on your own. There are international offices where you can always get in contact to, and they will assist you with finding your way around once you're there in Germany. And we always say, okay, maybe consider also studying in a smaller city, because sometimes the community feeling is better in these smaller cities or in these smaller universities in these cities. A big bonus of Germany is that it's in the heart of Europe, because by studying in Germany, you do not only get Germany, you get whole of Europe. You can reach, depending of course where you're studying, you can travel to France over the weekend or to Poland. It's really easy, borders are open. And there's also an advantage if you have a degree from Germany, it's automatically recognized in all of the European countries. So even if you studied in Germany, you can use this degree, and it's easily recognized in Spain, for example, if you want to find a job then in Spain. And in general, it's a very open society, so you can just be or become whoever you want to be. In general, there are many interesting things to discover in Germany. And I wanted to show a few of the pictures. For every person, I think you find something. If you love to hike, if you like nature, you find something. If you like the sea and want to relax at beaches, you find beaches. Or you have the mountains, and you find culture, you find museums, you find science parks. So for every interest, there's something in Germany. So just to sum it up, it's a smart choice to study in Germany. High quality, low tuition fees. There are also many study programs in English if you're not yet have a good language level of German. And then you have a future job opportunities also in Germany and good opportunities also with a German degree in general, wherever you want to work afterwards. Now I hand over to Katrin.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Stefanie, for this nice introduction. So this is a German degree system, which is it's a little bit different than the Hong Kong and the Macau system. But in the end, you have this second school leaving certificate called Abitur in Germany. And of course, for you interesting is what is your degree worth? How can you access German universities? And it's a little bit complicated right now. Actually, there is a process. If you have a degree in a high school in Macau and you have been if you have been acquired to angenommen. I'm sorry. I was kind of irritated with. If you are accepted in a university in Macau or Hong Kong, then you have automatically the admission to German universities. So this is actually right now the German government is re-evaluating this process, but this is like the state of the art. But I see very few very young people here. Once you are there, you have to check with this page, this web page. There is always the most recent information about this process. The Uni Assist, and there you find more or less everything all the information you have to have. So I want to go very shortly to see the university. We have very old, famous universities who are like 600 years old, like Leipzig and Heidelberg, like 600 years, right? In total, we have 107 universities, and they focus on theoretical knowledge. And they have compulsory courses, but a lot of electives. So I think the whole point is of the student to organize himself or herself, right? And they are usually very big, up to 50,000 students, which is on the one hand, it's an advantage. On the other hand, it might be very challenging especially for a person who comes from a totally different country, right? Now, Stefanie said that the state is funding state universities, but we do have private universities as well. Not as many as universities, and they usually are not very big. And the tuition fees vary very much, and the most expensive I know of is 30,000 euro per academic year, but you can have much less. But still, there are, good universities, and they are state recognized. This is very important. If you are in a private university, make sure that it's state acquired, right? Otherwise, you have a degree and it's worth nothing. And like I said, this is like very, very posh, you're like studying in a kind of a castle, right? Okay, music, art, film, and I have to add sport colleges. Of course, you have to have the usual admission requirements. In addition, you usually have to have some practical application, and you have to prove that you already have certain skills in music or sport or film or art. And of course, you have bachelor, master, state exam, PhD, like in any other universities, but the admission procedure is a little bit more difficult, which I think is more or less the same in all other countries as well. So now we are coming to the Universities of Applied Sciences, which Stefanie just said usually are in smaller cities, not always like in the big cities, a little bit remote, and there are many more, and they are smaller by themselves. They don't have 50,000 students, but maybe like 5,000 or 6,000. And I think they don't have the reputation, like, you know, Heidelberg, LMU, Munich, and everything. But I still think they are very good. And if you want to go to university and you want to get a job and you want to apply what you have learned, then this might be a good choice. If you're not into like this theoretical stuff, it always depends what you want and what the goal is. This is the major part, which you have to ask yourself. What do I want, or what do my parents want? Okay, and and I think one big advantage is they have smaller groups and they have a very good teacher-professor relation, just for number-wise, right? Because if you have in really big universities, it might not be that well, right? So, okay, now I know that a big horror for a lot of people is the German language. Iris is from Hong Kong, but her German is very, very good, I can say. So it's possible, definitely it's possible, right? But I know it's a long term. I studied Chinese, I know how it can be very, very daring. So the German government has introduced international programs which are taught in English. So you have no proof of German language skills, but you have to prove your English language skills, right? You have to have this IELTS or TOEFL. Yes, and they are at all levels across Germany. That is true, but mainly master programs. More master programs than bachelor programs. Undergraduates, relatively few. This is the page where there are all international programs. From the DRD, they have listed all the universities. They have made a screenshot. So 23, 24, 2,230. So, like I said, most of them are master programs. So, applying, I think you are not that far yet, but once you have decided, like I said, you have to go to this Uni Assist where you get all the information, and this is where how to apply. And I mean, one very, very important thing is that you have to always ask the university of your choice, because Germany is not centralized and the universities have a very big amount of autonomy. So I don't want to say they're all different. Of course, they have a common ground, but they are, every university has quite of a big range which they can determine themselves. So please always make sure whatever you want, you go to the university and ask the university, what do you want? What do I have to have? You know, what kind of language degree do I have? Do I have to have an internship already? You know, different things. This is what the international office are there for, right? Handling fee, a lot of people ask me that. That's, I don't have my glasses, it's €75. And then you have every edition is €30. Okay, now this timeline, I think this is, if you are in the process of planning your future, I think the most important thing is which subject do I want to study, in which language. The first thing I think you have to set a goal for yourself before you're starting to work through all the many, many universities and many study programs. And do I have the required qualifications? Okay, I'm talking about the objective qualifications as language certificates, you know, DSE or Hong Kong, Macau admission, but also am I emotionally and financially capable of studying abroad? I think it's not easy to study abroad. We don't have to be, you know, naive about this. It is a different culture, different language, different food, different weather. Everything is different. Everybody looks different, talks different. So it's not easy. So if you want to study abroad, you have to have a certain emotional stability and a support not only financial but in your personality. This is not very easy to, you know, to see, but I think we have to think about it, right? And of course, financially, you don't have tuition fees, but still you have to live there, right? And it's more or less the same like in Hong Kong, maybe, I don't know. Hard to say. Okay, so this is, and then once you have made this most important decision, and of course get the support of your parents and, you know, and really talk it over. Don't make it an easy choice. Then you go through all these several programs and you go through Uni Assist and, you know, just go step by step. Usually the deadlines for application in German universities is around July, because German Abitur is, like the German finishing of high school is in June, so the application deadline is like in July, and the semester usually starts in October. Oh, again, this varies from university to university as well. It's a little bit more complicated, very federal, the whole thing. And then, of course, the last thing, I think Stephanie will tell you about the visa procedure more concrete about this. And then, of course, you have to look for accommodations in the city of your choice. Accommodation is always, of course, a problem in big cities. Again, if you go to München, you have to pay a lot for accommodation. If you go to a smaller place, especially in Eastern Germany, it's much more reasonable. And Eastern Germany is, they have, after the unification, there was a lot of money, put into East German cities and East German universities. So sometimes the East German universities are in better shape than the West German universities. This is, don't be shy to look to the East German things. Scholarships there are a lot of things about scholarships. The DRD, like you probably know, gives out a lot of scholarships. Very competitive, to be honest, and mostly for graduate students. And there are all other kinds of scholarships, and this is the funding guide. They are from political parties, from the churches, there are a lot from the churches as well. And okay, now, I mean, all of you, I see very young people, so the doctoral programs are in a few very far future. I still go off there very, very fast. So you have the individual doctor programs. So you have like one, we say Dr. Mutter, Dr. Vater, which is like the mother of my PhD or the father of my PhD, and she will guide me through the process. This means you are very much dependent on this one person on the one hand. On the other hand, you are relatively free, right? You are not like into a schedule. But we do have that as well, the structured doctoral programs. We have this as well, which is more or less like here in Hong Kong, like in Hong Kong. This is how you can do if you prefer this, be more introduced. Research organizations, there are a lot of research organizations in case you want to write your PhD, which can support you and give you opportunity to do this. And if you don't want to go that far, there are 2 universities in Hong Kong where you can study German programs, which like German is a major. One of this is HKBU, which I work in right now, and Iris graduated a few years ago, and the Hong Kong University. There you have these programs. So you might want to look into that as well. So now I hand over to Stephanie, who will tell you about the visa applications.
Yes, so in general, we know that many people, they are really worried about the visa procedures. And I'm here, I want to tell you, don't be afraid. We have a lot of information on our website, so it's your best friend. You find everything there that you need. And especially, there is no need to pay an agency for a visa application. Yes, of course, you have to collect some documents and you have to fill out an application. But as you all have completed school here, you will be able to do that. And if you really should have a question that you don't know what to fill in this specific question at the application form, just send us an email. And my colleagues will answer this question, and it's really no problem. That's why we are there. We are here also to not just take in the applications, but also to give a little counseling how to best fill it out. So there's really no need to pay an agency. Our consulate in Hong Kong is in charge for all people who want to apply for a visa who live both here in Macau and in Hong Kong. So it's necessary that you have a residence here in these both regions. So people living in Shenzhen, for example, in China, we cannot just come over the border because it's closer to them than maybe other consulates in China. It's also just important to know. I just want to explain a little bit. There are different kinds of visa. So the standard visa is, of course, the student visa. This is a visa you apply for when you have like the admission letter from your university and you already know where you want to study. Then there are other options. For example, you want to study in Germany or a German language, but you still need a language course to be accepted. Then you could also apply for a language course visa as preparation. Or there's even the option to apply for a student applicant's visa. I would say this is a little bit more difficult to get because, of course, you have to make it understandable or clear why you want to travel to Germany. First, to just have a look around and to see if maybe Germany is the place for you to study. But it's also possible, and under certain constellations, it's also maybe a good option. The required documents, of course, you find a list on our website. I just want to mention a few things. Of course, you need a financial proof, and there's a minimum amount that you have to prove. It's at the moment 934 euros per month, but it's also changing regularly, so you always have to check when you're really applying how much it is at the moment. And of course, you can either use a scholarship, you present a proof that you have a scholarship, or the other the most easiest thing is to open a blocked account in Germany, where you just pay in the amount, and then you get a document confirming this, that you have this blocked account. As Karin also said, quite often you have to prove your language skills, of course your admission letter, a travel insurance, but for most cases that's already it. You know, if you see the list, it's not so long. Of course, you have to prove also that you have completed your school here, yes, but in general, it's not really difficult documents that you have to bring forward for the visa application. It's normally the documents that you also hand in at the university, for example, during the application process. Yes, here we have just some FAQs or questions that we often hear at such events. Can I work while studying might maybe be relevant. Yes, it's possible to take up a student job and work for a few days or also half days. Maybe I just skip this question. We will later have an FAQ. If you want, you can ask them again. I just wanted to mention the working holiday program, but this is only for Hong Kong citizens, so only possible if you have a Hong Kong passport, but it would be an option just to get to know Germany while traveling and working a little bit. So, and now we go on to the personal experiences of Iris.
Okay. Well, thank you, Stephanie and Catherine, for the introductions and also the information. 咁我而家會分享少少我之前喺德國讀書嘅經驗啦。咁其實一開始我點解會揀德國咧？係因為本身之前喺我喺斯洛文尼亞都係歐洲嗰邊讀書嘅時候咧，就曾經去過德國嘅。咁我啲德國朋友咧就 show me around 咁樣啦。嗰刻我就覺得哇，好似好靚咁喎。咁同埋啲人咧都同我講英文嘅喎。咁我就覺得都好似我唔一定要識德文嘅。咁樣呢個就係少少嘅契機啦。咁跟住之後咧，其實第三個原因咧就係我知道咧喺德國讀書咧，其實係作為一個香港人啊或者係澳門嘅學生讀書，去嗰邊讀書咧都係免學費嘅。咁呢個都係一個好大嘅誘因啦，因為嗰陣時我都係即係經濟都會環境唔係咁富裕啦，咁都會諗下咁如果喺嗰邊淨係要支持我自己生活費，咁其實都可以諗下喎咁樣。咁好啦，咁我付諸實行啦，咁我就喺德國度讀書。咁嗰陣時咧，我就喺 Duisburg， 即係呢個地方一個紅圈圈嗰度就讀書。咁其實佢係近住邊度咧？可能大家都有聽過，就啲好著名嘅旅遊地方，即係譬如係 Cologne 啊，或者係 Düsseldorf， 即係杜魯塞多夫啊，或者係科隆咁樣嘅地方。咁所以其實嗰陣時讀書嘅時候咧，都成日都要趁機咧就去下其他嘅地方去旅行嘅。咁其實都係好方便。咁我嗰陣時係讀咩 program 咧？嗰陣時就係其實係一個2年嘅 program 嚟嘅。咁佢就讀嗰個大學咧就叫做 University of Duisburg-Essen 啦。咁其實都喺 Duisburg 呢個 city 裏邊嘅。咁我嗰陣時就讀國際關係同埋環境政策。咁佢呢個係呢個2年嘅program 啦。咁就係一半用德文讀，一半就係用英文讀嘅。咁因為佢係德文同埋英文都要需要啦，咁嗰陣時，所以我喺入學之前咧，其實我係要有一個德文嘅一個語言嘅證明嘅。 咁嗰陣時其實都好彩啦，咁我嗰陣時都有 search 究竟德國有冇啲都係俾留學生可以有嘅獎學金嘅機會咧？咁其實有嘅。咁頭先 Catherine 都講咗啦，譬如係有 DAD 啦，都有 provide scholarship 啦。咁有啲係 churches 嘅 organisation 啦。咁嗰陣時我就係攞到呢個 foundation 嘅獎學金。咁其實咧喺德國都有好多唔同嘅 political foundations。咁或者係有即係佢嗰個 federal government 提供嘅 scholarship。咁大家其實都喺網上可以揾到嘅，或者去啲嗰個website， 可能頭先喺出邊嗰個 table 見到我哋有個 leaflet， 嗰個上面都有啲 information， 咁大家都可以睇到喺邊度去揾到獎學金，咁就唔使擔心咯。咁都係留學生都係有機會嘅。咁不過頭先 Catherine 都講咗啦，咁多數都係Bachelor 就比較少嘅，通常都係 Master 或者以上就會有呢個獎學機會。咁大家可以留意一下。好。咁呢個都係想俾大家睇下少少嗰陣時嗰個環境係點樣啦。咁其實右上角呢張圖咧，其實就係我讀書嗰個地方嚟嘅。咁你見到咧附近咧係一個好多樹嘅環境啦。其實佢附近咧有個即係森林咁嘅地方。其實我哋讀書，我哋有陣時同啲其他同學咧讀完書，攰攰哋咧就會行入個森林裏邊，跟住就去行幾個 round 咁樣出翻嚟就會即係好似成個 fresh 翻咁樣。咁嗰個 city 其實都係一個比較對學生嚟講都係 friendly 嘅，咁因為佢有好多嘅好方便嘅交通工具啦，咁就對於學生即係人生路不熟嘅我咧，咁就會比較即係 friendly 啲，我冇咁驚啦。咁同埋嗰度嘅人都係咧同我識都會同我講英文啦。咁當然我都要坦白，即係話你去到德國唔係話人人都會話好叻咁識講英文嘅，咁總會係有啲情況係佢哋淨係識用德文。咁你當時 body language 咯，咁但係我覺得都係一個學習嘅一個經歷嚟嘅。咁講翻少少 practical 嘅嘢啦，咁嗰時係點樣揾到呢個 program， 同埋大家可以係譬如有興趣喺德國讀書，除咗喺 DD 嗰個online program 個 portfolio 可以揾到 program 之外，其實可以有咩方法咧？咁其實你可以去譬如你哋有心儀嘅大學，咁你就直接去 search 嗰個大學嘅名啦，然之後你再 search 譬如 master courses 或者Bachelor courses， 咁譬如你見到啦，左邊呢個圖咧就係你會見到，哇！其實你一睇到就會有好多唔同 program 啦，只不過你要 search 究竟你中意咩嘅學科。咁咧你一 click 之後咧就去到隔離嗰個 web page， 即係譬如我間學校啦，你就會見到嗰個 program 係咁樣喎。咁其實你碌落去下邊咧就會見到究竟要讀幾耐啦，係讀用咩語言讀㗎啦，有啲咩要求啦 ，contact person 係點樣啦。咁我建議你如果有啲咩問題，即係譬如 document 上有啲咩問題咧，就直接 contact university， 直接同大學聯絡。咁因為佢哋會有最 update 最新嘅 information， 咁就唔好錯啦。因為即係你漏咗 document， 好坦白講咧，佢哋好多時就唔會睇噶啦。即係咁無謂嘥咗機會啦，因為可能你都花咗好多心思去準備其他文件，咁就係啦。咁最好就係早啲準備咯，因為嗰陣時我係點樣 apply 咧，我都係預早1年，咁我就知道大概我想讀咩，咁我就去揾 program， 即係你揾，然之後 get 得document 一嚟，跟住申請 visa， 咁其實1年就好快就過噶啦，其實。咁喺德國作為一個留學生嘅經歷咧，其實我諗除咗一個好 independent 嘅 learning environment 之外咧，我會覺得係一個好 affordable， 即係對於學生嚟講，譬如我嗰陣時而家呢個生活費可能係900歐一個月左右啦。咁其實呢個錢咧係包咗你嘅租金啦、你食嘢啦、你 travel 啦、你嘅 health insurance 啦、ticket 各樣嘢。咁當然啦，你唔同嘅人有可能有唔同嘅生活。即係個要求啦，譬如你中意去日出去食飯嘅，咁你個價錢就自然 on top 啦。咁呢個係比較average 啦，而我覺得係比較平均嘅學生大概嘅使費。咁嗰時都係㗎啦。咁而家都差唔多。當然啦，譬如你頭先 Catherine 講咗，或者 Sherry 講咗，你去其他 city， 譬如係 München， 咁物價會高啲，咁你自然預嘅錢咁又自然又會多啲啦。即係譬如係租金方面又會再提高少少啦。咁頭先講咗啦 scholarship， 咁我唔再講咁多。如果有啲咩問題，隨時都可以問我哋嘅陣間。咁而另一樣嘢，我覺得好好嘅咧，就係佢哋個 public health insurance 呢個系統其實非常之好嘅。咁嗰陣時我係即係俾咗我嗰陣時可以攞住張醫療卡咧。咁其實我即係有咩病痛，希望大家唔會有啦。即係 touch wood 有啲咩病痛或者係做咩檢查，咁你攞住張卡咧，去任何間嗰啲醫院啊 clinic 咧，咁其實佢都可以即係當你係嗰邊嘅人一樣咁樣幫你去睇。咁當然啦，我會覺得呢個系統好 comprehensive 嘅，我覺得。 咁排隊啊等嗰方面都唔使太擔心啦，語言方面都唔使擔心，大部分都會佢哋講英文咁樣嘅。咁而另一樣最後咧，我都想講，喺嗰邊讀完書之後咧，你 complete 咗你個讀書嗰個 program 啦，攞 certificate 咧，你之後其實有18個月去時間咧去揾工嘅。咁你點樣轉 visa 方面咧，大家都唔使擔心嘅。轉 visa 嗰樣嘢咧喺德國度搞。咁只要你早啲去揾政府部門話，我想留低，我想 change 個 visa， 咁就佢會預時間幫你去搞噶啦。但係大前提都係啦。早啲 approach， 早啲知道問自己你係咪想留喺度揾工。咁如果唔係，隨時翻嚟澳門，咁都係個 option 嚟嘅。咁所以都唔使咁擔心。只不過我覺得係一個另一個opportunity 可以提。呢度講少少，我嗰陣時係住喺邊嘅咧，就係住喺我右邊呢張相嗰棟大廈啦。咁其實嗰個 dormitory 咧係學校提供嘅，咁都係10分鐘嘅路程嚟嘅啫。只不過，但係都要提啦，因為你唔係唯一嘅學生喺德國諗住讀書，所以如果你想住大學提供俾你嘅宿舍咧，最好猶豫早啲去 approach 啦。即係你一收到acceptance letter 我讀啦，咁你就即刻去揾佢哋個 dormitory 去傾。咁好啦，如果大學話俾你聽真係唔得喎，而家冇位，咁我其他同學係點樣做咧？佢哋就出邊做住 hostel 先，就直接等到有位啦，咁即 quit 咗 hostel 直接去住 dormitory 都得嘅，冇問題。咁除咗dormitory 都有好多唔同嘅選擇，你可以自己一個 room 又得，你中意同其他學生一齊 share room 又得，你唔中意住學生宿舍，你想喺 city 度另外自己租屋住都得，冇問題。只不過學校宿舍嗰個價錢會比較平啲咁解啫，係啦。咁嗰陣時我就大概俾300歐元，就可能大概係3000蚊，我諗3000幾蚊澳幣咗啦，即係差唔多咁樣係啦。咁嗰陣時activity 都係好多種嘅，咁嗰陣時成日同我啲室友一齊搞啲 international party 啊，或者去玩 sport 咁樣，都係一個好好嘅體驗。咁最後一張 slide 我想講咩咧？就係其實喺嗰邊讀書，我得到嘅唔單止係一個international recognized 嘅一個 education 啦，即係你攞住德國嘅證書，其實你去歐洲，你想喺嗰度讀書做嘢，其實都係可以嘅。即使你翻嚟澳門或者你去歐美各樣嘢都係美國啊或者亞洲都係可以即係承認你嗰個學歷。咁跟住我嗰邊讀書啦，當然係德文嘅水平都自然幫我提升咗啦，咁都係一個好好嘅鍛鍊我德文嘅機會啦。咁之後都當然啦，你認識到唔同嘅朋友啦，咁都係一個好好嘅體驗嚟嘅。咁我諗另一樣嘢就係 personal growth， 就係即係作為一個外地生喺德國讀書，你會認識到唔同嘅人啦，或者面對好多好突發嘅事情，咁你要自己去處理，咁呢樣嘢都係令到你自己去成長，因為唔係成日都有人都會喺你側邊幫你，或者係爸爸媽咪唔會成日喺側邊幫你應該點解點做喎？咁呢啲都係你自己去應付嘅一啲嘅場景。咁最後啦，咁呢個係 job opportunities。當然啦，你識咗，譬如你有呢個certificate 啦，咁可能澳門啊，或者係香港，譬如我話香港都有多過600幾間德國機構，咁你想喺度做嘢方面咧，自然都係個機會。咁你中意留喺德國度做嘢又得，同埋你想喺德國你去其他歐洲國家繼續 stay 亦都可以。咁係啦，呢個就係我分享到呢個部分。Thank you。咁我就交俾 Catherine。
Okay, no, thanks a lot, Iris. I didn't understand a lot, but I'm sure it was very interesting. No. So I'm very shortly talking about acquiring a German test staff exam. Test staff exam is like this official centralized German exam, parallel to like the ELTS or the TOEFL, right? So this is like the European Council reference level. This is actually true for all European languages who have agreed to this process. I think you will find this if you're learning English or French or something else. These are like the steps you have to go through. If you are C2, then you are almost like a mother tongue, but you don't need that. This is very hard. Maybe Iris has this, but it's like I said, it's very hard. Okay, this is like the language proficiency. These are the numbers of, statistically, numbers of courses you have to take, hours in course. This does not mean that you can just like take the course and do nothing. You have to work at school, at home. You know this from school, of course. Okay, this is the interesting thing, oh no, so how do I go back? So the interesting thing is the test stuff in this context, the test stuff, because the test stuff is, at the end, it's like it starts here at B2 and goes up to B1, and this is the entrance level you have if you want to study in German language. And to acquire that, that's, like I said, a lot of work. But like Stephanie said, you can have a language visa as well. You know, if you want to study in Germany, you have like 1 year of visa where you can study German in Germany, which of course is much easier because if you are in the surrounding, you pick up earlier, easier and faster. But I really, even if you study in English language, I always would advise you to do some of this. Right? I mean, so that you have a grip on the culture, on the language, get around, you know, get into contact with German people. Most German people do speak English, but not all, and some of them just don't really, you know, feel better if you can speak in their own language, which is, again, true for, I think, most countries. So, and if you're a young person learning a language, it's easy. It's of course, it takes work, but you can do this. I really would advise you to do this, even if you study in English. So the course formats, this is the Goethe Institute Hong Kong, which also you can, as Macau citizen, of course, you can go there. It's kind of far, but there are also online courses. Go to the Goethe website, Goethe Institute in Hong Kong, and you will find all kinds of courses. Some are intensive courses as well, even some in Germany, but they are very competitive. It's very hard to get in. Okay, and then you have, if you really want to go to the test stuff, there are exam and preparation courses in Hong Kong. And in Hong Kong, they do have test stuff as well. And they have there, in this area, there's the only test stuff institute, the only institute where you can take the test stuff, which says that a lot of people from mainland China come to Hong Kong to take the test stuff. So if you want to have the test stuff, just try to, you know, to get a place very, very soon because they're gone very fast. Of course, the Goethe Institute in Hong Kong, if you are in Hong Kong, go to the Goethe Institute. There's a very fantastic library and usually a very nice art exhibition of some sort and a very beautiful view over the harbor, but this of you are used to this. Okay, the test stuff, I think we are kind of running out of time, so I just go on this relatively short. There are 4 parts, right? You have all skills. You have reading, writing, talking, and you know, listening comprehension. And the test stuff starts here. And most universities say at least test stuff 4 in each part. But again, it depends a little bit on the university and on the subject you take. If you want to take if you want to read Immanuel Kant or something, you'd rather have this TD5, right? But if you're studying mechanical engineering, maybe TD3 might be enough, right? So it always depends, and always make sure to know what you want, to know the university you want to go to, and to know your study program you want to do. I mean, I'm German, but Immanuel Kant, it's too complicated for me as well. Okay, so this is enroll for the exam of the official website. You know, in Hong Kong, this is a big gain for this area that you can take the test stuff here. Okay, so these are the next test stuff examinations in March, June, and April, and the second half of the year we'll have another. We have another dates, but they are not out yet. And it's not paper-based, that's not really important for you. You have to go there in person, but you do it online. But you have to go there. This is like a major acceleration. So, okay, this is from our part, right? And you can, the Goethe Institute and Hong Kong study in Germany, and write an email to the consulate. And these are the contacts. And we can always write emails, and we will reply in as fast as we can. And now we have, you can follow us on social media, of course. And vielen Dank und bis bald in Deutschland, which means thanks a lot and see you in Germany. Okay, now please, we would like to give the floor to Karen again. Okay,
thank you so much for sharing, which is very informative about studying in Germany. 多謝晒咁多位分享。